What's going on, guys and girls? Welcome to DJ Blighty TV, and as you've probably seen from the title of the video and the thumbnail, today is about how we're going to set things up for using Serato. And I'm not talking about controllers today, I'm not talking about plug and play mixers, I'm talking about how to set up a DVS box. It doesn't have to be the one in the picture, which is the Rane SL4, which is quite old now, but is still in use today. I still use it. I'm sure if you've got one or something similar, I can show you how exactly to set it up. If you're a beginner, you've never played out of your home before, or you've been playing around on a controller, you're moving up to clubs, this is basically going to help you know how to set up in a club environment or a home environment, how to plug everything in, where it goes, what to do if things go wrong. Let's get into that right now. Okay, so before we get started, I'm just going to run you through the equipment we're using that I'm going to use to demonstrate for you today, but I just want you to be clear that this will apply to pretty much every piece of equipment that you will find in a club in 2019. So we're using two Pioneer CDJ 2000 Nexus 2s. Older models of this will be exactly the same because they all have the same audio lead setup. And we're also using a DJM S9 mixer, which is only a 2-channel mixer. It is actually a plug and play, but that doesn't mean we can't set it up with a DVS box that I'm going to be showing you shortly. When you are in a club, you'll find that there will probably be no doubt a 4-channel mixer, but the principles of this are going to be similar. But with a 4-channel mixer, it does make it easier to change over from another DJ without interfering too much with what they're doing. But I will show you basically on this how to come across how to do it. So here we're using the Rane SL4, which was originally designed for Serato Scratch Live. This is an old piece of kit which I've had for probably 8 years, I should think. This is still available to buy, so I'll put some links in the description where you can buy this particular model, or the smaller ones. You can get an SL3, which is a 3-channel. This is a 4-channel. You can get the SL1, or I think it's the SL2 now, which is a 2-channel. So there are options available, but I'll run you through each channel to explain what we're going to be using it for right now. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is take 2 RCA audio leads. Don't have to be these particular ones, but what we're going to do is plug them into channels 1 and 2 on the output section of this DVS box. Okay, if you don't have an SL4 and it's an SL3, you can just eliminate that channel 4, and if it's the SL2, eliminate channel 3 and 4. That's why we're using 1 and 2 to demonstrate, because these two will not be an option. So all we're going to do is plug the green in this instance, which is supposed to be the red, into there. So that's channel 1, and then same again for channel 2. Now these are our outputs, so this is where the sound actually comes from the laptop to the mixer. Okay, so we're going to plug into the mixer using, on this mixer, line 1. So the red goes into the red, which is green, and the white into the white, and then the same with channel 2 into the line here. Okay, now if you're playing on a 4-channel mixer and the DJ before you is playing on channel 1 and 2, you may want to plug into channel 3 and 4. Or if they're playing on 2 and 3, you may want to plug into channel 1 and 4, simply because it avoids interfering with what they're doing. However, if you come across a situation where you've got a mixer like this, which is only 2 channels, what you need to do is make sure that you unplug the channel that they're not using whilst changing over. So your first track is either going to be on channel 1 or channel 2, depending on which way you're actually switching over. I will do a more detailed version of changeovers in another video, but that was just a brief lowdown as to how to actually deal with that if you come across it. The next thing we're going to do is get some more RCA cables. I haven't got any more of the posh green and white ones because they're very expensive, but they're not any better audio quality wise. I will put a link in the description for them. I think they're about £20 each, but as far as durability is concerned, they're untouchable. So if you're doing a lot of gigs and constantly pulling leads in and out, they're great for not getting ruined like these things. The next thing we're doing, we're plugging an audio cable into channel 1, which is going to be your input for deck 1. So if we go behind the CDJ, what we're going to do is plug it into the audio input, which is going to be here. If you want to go to the back of the CDJ, So we're going to plug this into here, and that will go into input 2 on your box. Okay, that's all the audio cables connected. So the next thing we're going to do is put in our USB cable. So for this one, I'm going to plug into, and I can unwind it, into A here. And then I'm using USB-C because I've got one of the newer MacBooks, but it doesn't matter if you're using the older USBs. It makes no difference whatsoever to what we're doing here. Once that plugs into Serato, the software should, because the mixer's on now, load up so the decks change to what they are now. So what we need to make sure now, if you've moved from, for example, a controller that has more than 2 channels, or a mixer or anything that has 2 channels, what we're going to do is go into setup here, settings, and make sure that we have channel 1 and channel 2 selected. If you've got channel 2 and channel 3 selected, it's going to confuse you because you'll not get signal coming through channel 1. So make sure that you double check that this setting is on 1 and 2, because that's the channels that we've plugged into to set up. Now what we can do is check that we're working by simply picking a track that will allow us to check if it's working. So for this, it's on internal because I use HID mode, which is a little bit different. So what you're going to do is make sure that you're on relative mode here, which should then activate the deck. It won't, however, because we haven't got time code in. So what we're going to do, I use time code on these USBs. If I use timecode, I use what's called HID mode, which will be set up in a different video to show you through how we do that. But for this example, we're going to show you on timecode, which will be on USB. So what we'll do is select USB on the CDJ here. Then we're going to search for the timecode, which is in here. Once that's selected, you'll see that the track has now begun to play on there. Okay, now what we're going to do is make sure that the mixer is set. Now this setup here, because it's a plug and play mixer, is set to channels 1 and 2 on internal, which means I plug into the mixer. Because we're on the lines, we need to make sure that this knob is on CD and line. Okay, otherwise the sound isn't going to come through. If you look here now, you'll see the sound is coming through the mixer. You can check this using headphones before you actually go audible in the venue. Okay, now with the time code, little tip for you here, you've only got 16 minutes of runtime. What I always used to do when using time code is run a loop. So what you'll do is press loop in on the CDJ here, count a few seconds, and then press loop again. This now will continue forever and it won't interfere with anything that's going on. So what we'll do is just check that we're working by running the track. Speakers aren't on, that might help. Let's turn the speakers on. Otherwise, won't be able to hear it. Okay, so yeah, so that's channel 2 working completely fine. I'm going to repeat the process now on channel 1. And again, make sure that we're online on the mixer. I've been on this road for so long. So I like this song, isn't it? And still I ain't found out. It's like so just checking the left channel's working. All good. So we're now running channel 1 and channel 2 through the DVS box into channels 1 and 2 on the mixer. So, was that a little bit loud? So yeah, we're all set. Now, if you're using what you'll find is what we call the industry standard in nightclubs, which is the DJM 900, you're going to have 4 of these channels. So like I explained at the beginning, providing you are allocating the correct channels to your DVS box and to your mixer, making sure that they're on CD in line. You won't have any issues. I'm going to do another video in the future on how to deal with troubleshooting regarding this. For example, if something goes wrong with your software or your laptop, what you need to do to have backups. If something goes wrong with the CDJs, what to do as a backup for that, how to use internal mode without those, and how to troubleshoot things on the mixer as well. For example, if you've only got one channel that will work with your DVS box, how to get over that as well. Okay, so that's the basic setup covered for today. So there's nothing really more to cover other than how to do it backwards, but that should be pretty self-explanatory. You just unplug it all and put it away. So yeah, that's pretty much a wrap for today. A pretty basic video on how to set things up for use with Serato and DVS. I hope it's helped you out if that's something that you've been looking to do or looking to do in the near future. Any questions regarding today that you haven't understood or you want me to elaborate on, hit me up in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer. Also hit me up with any requests for future videos, because I will be doing these videos on a weekly basis from here on out. So thanks for watching DJ Blighty TV. Don't forget to subscribe for all future tips and tricks and tutorial videos. I've been DJ Blighty. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Peace.